very sick. And I think one of the beautiful elements of this entire story with the Iraqi video is that we did send a journalist, an investigative journalist, one of our best here in Iceland, to Baghdad to fact check if he could find witnesses and the children and so forth. And he indeed did find the children who had been very seriously wounded. And Ethan, I forgot his last name, one of the soldiers that actually discovered the children and was running with them to the sort of a hospital.
That's right. The ground forces show up and save the children who are bleeding to death. And,
yes.
and then they tell the helicopters, you shot kids, and the helicopter guys start basically laughing about it, showing the difference. They're up, dehumanize themselves, dehumanizing those they're killing, but the actual ground troops, they're actually there seeing the carnage, and they haven't lost their humanity.
But this, in particular, this soldier who was carrying the children, he has done some incredibly courageous acts, and he's, with another soldier, written an apology to the families that, you know, for example, to the children and the mother who lost their husband. She lost her husband and they lost their father. And I think one of the reasons the children were saved was that, you know, the father's body after it had been killed shielded them. So, in a sense, and it was so important also for the families of the Reuters staff to finally hear the truth. And I find it so important that we remember that this is just one video. How many more incidents are there like this? This is not just one freak incident. There's another segment in this video, if you watch the raw cut, where you can see them blasting up a house or a big apartment building. And there is this guy just walking along the pavement, and they have him, they see him, and they still fire at the house, and just, they have no respect for life. And there were so many families in that house. And there was, the reporter from Iceland managed to track down one of the people that lived there. And he lost his wife and his daughter.
That's important to humanize these people, because when the army is used against us here in the United States, we want to be seen as human, and they are training the military to take on the American people. In fact, here's an article today, Czech military to help National Guard establish chemical warfare unit in Texas. And I've been to these drills. These foreign troops are actually training to take on the American people. They'll have a decontamination drill in front of the media for outward consumption, but the real drills are to take on the American people. And we're going to premiere next week the video from Chicago of foreign troops training to take on the American people. So it's Iraqis today, it's us tomorrow. But you said something interesting, Birgitta-jonsdottir, member of the Icelandic parliament and who helped leak some of the WikiLeaks information, videos. You were saying that the Army specialist Bradley Manning, you were implying that he really isn't the one that gave this information to WikiLeaks. I mean, you're saying that...
No, I'm just saying that, you know, I personally don't have any proof for that. So I don't want to assume that it is indeed him or somebody else.
But, I mean, let's say it is him. I mean, Daniel Ellsberg didn't get in trouble, or they tried to, for releasing stuff that showed the government was lying and knew that the Vietnam War was lost, but was a moneymaker. I mean, if the people that released the photos of Abu Ghraib torture, they didn't go to prison. The people that did the torture did. This is many human rights experts have pointed out, Obama seems to be expanding persecution of whistleblowers that have always been protected.
Well, I think, you know, if indeed this is Bradley Manning that leaked the Iraqi video, I think he's a hero, and he should be hailed like a hero. And I think it is very disturbing to find out what is actually occurring under Obama, because I think a lot of people were hoping that he would be entirely different than he has been showing. He's a very different person than before election. And I think that you guys have to be extremely on alert and on guard, and to give him proper pressure so that he doesn't impose all these
Brigitta, stay there. Final segment with you. Well, an award-winning documentary filmmaker is going to have a new film about the murder of Pat Tillman. It's going to air in theaters around the country and then on television, probably HBO. McChrystal, by the way, was the guy who engaged in that cover-up of the murder of Pat Tillman. He was going to whistleblow about opium production and the war being a fraud. And they weren't going to let their biggest poster boy do that, so they killed him dead than a hammer. He was shot at a distance, and they came up on him and shot him at near point-blank range 3 times in the head. And Army coroner came out and said he was murdered. All the evidence showed murder. So they're not going to cover this up, and that's at gcnlive.com by Paul Joseph Watson, the letters GCN Live. That's the network website. It's a prisonplanet.com article, but the best place to find it's at gcnlive.com. New big screen documentary exposes Pat Tillman. Cover up, very, very important. And Birgitta-jonsdottir is with us. She's a champion of liberty, really is. And, you know, she's saying, oh, I'm not in danger. Oh, you know, the head of WikiLeaks, he's not in danger. Well, Ellsberg says he is in danger. You know, he's saying that Julian Assange is in danger, and I tend to agree. And so please, I know you want to get it out perfect and have journalists all over vet the videos and documents you have first, but if it came from the Pentagon, I would just put it all out there and say, folks, you decide what you think of this. This is too dangerous. We're handing the ball off. But that's my advice. And I'm not trying to scare you. You're a member of Parliament, but you know, I told the D.C. madam, I said, you need to release everything you know about those clients, and she didn't do it, and they murdered her. And I talked to her apartment manager. She said, yeah, men were following her. She was going to see her mom. She thought they were trying to kill her, and then they did a fake note. I even compared the note. I even got the suicide note, compared it to her lease agreement that was sent to me by the manager of the condos. He was friends with her. She'd lived there for a decade, and they killed her. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just telling you, these people don't play games. And I know you know that, but just you're not bulletproof. We love you, and you know, ideas are bulletproof, but you're not bulletproof, and he's not bulletproof. Either don't release it and say, okay, I'm not going to release it, or get that info out now, because they are hunting Julian Assange. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to stress that this information will be out as soon as possible.
And you're never going to commit suicide?
Never.
And Julian would never commit suicide?
No. So, but I think, you know, we're being cautious. I mean, in particular him and other WikiLeaks volunteers. But I find that to be very important that people go to the wikileaks.org website and read all the other material that is already available there. There's an incredible goldmine of information that you know, has been coming through the site for more than 2 years, or 3 years. So go and educate yourself. I think that's very important. And there's also a lot of if people want to familiarize themselves with the image proposal, there's a very comprehensive website with information about what this will actually do at immi.is.
Well, Birgitta, we salute you, and thank you for coming on and being interrogated. We look forward to speak to you as soon as this video or this text gets released. Will you promise to come on for at least 10, 15 minutes when the new video comes out, or new WikiLeaks information?
I will do so.
Well, you're awesome. Any other websites you'd like to give out for people?
Well, I just want to stress, and please ask people if they have horror stories from the IMF, please share it with me. I'm hoping that we can put together a documentary about how the IMF really works. So please share this information if you have it.
Well, you're awesome. You're getting laws passed. You're getting documents out. You're making films. You are doing everything you can for human liberty. And because of your spirit and people like you, Birgitta-jonsdottir, humanity and my children have a shot at a good future. We salute you. God bless you. We'll be back.